and welcome to our SETI Talks. Today we're talking about health, and we're doing this project as part of the WEP, Workers and the European Union. Today we have the pleasure to have the MEP, Mr. Wolken Timo. Hello, and thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you very much for the invitation.
So the objective of our project is to bring the initiatives of the European Parliament closer to the workers and to citizens in general. We all know that the pandemic took its toll on the health systems, on the national systems, and made Europe rethink and act on the European health system as a whole. Could you maybe highlight the initiatives of the EU and in particular of the European Parliament in the field of the health strategies during the pandemic?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so unfortunately, the European Commission has the sole right of initiative. So it's about the Commission needs to initiate new processes. But a lot has happened since the beginning of the pandemic, and I think it's highly needed. So the Commission proposed a health union package back in November 2020, and it contains mainly three elements. So the Commission wants to tackle serious cross-border health threats, and I think that's very necessary. For this aim, the Commission is proposing a stronger and more comprehensive legal framework to prepare and respond to serious cross-border threats to health. So the changes are based on lessons learned from the coronavirus crisis. So under the new regulation, we as the European Union would be able to adopt common measures at EU level to face future cross-border health threats. We would, the EU would be able to declare the public health emergency. We would be more prepared for emergencies, and there would be an auditing scheme in place. And finally, the Commission suggested to put in place an integrated EU monitoring system for infectious diseases and other health threats. And I think that's really necessary. So the second element of the proposal is changing the mandate of the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control. So we all know that ECDC has played an important role in this crisis, and it provided very important data, but it was quite limited in what the ECDC could do. So the new mandate would be more broad. So the ECDC would be entitled to issue stronger recommendations on measures to control of outbreaks. The ECDC would be able to mobilize and deploy EU outbreak assistance teams to assist local responders. The ECDC would be able to step up its analysis and modeling to support member states. And the ECDC would build up the key competences for health protection in the member states through providing a network of EU public health reference laboratories. And finally, it would reinforce the prevention of diseases and specific health issues. So like antimicrobial resistances, for example. And the last element is to strengthen the role of the Public Medicines Agency. So we know that EMA is vital to ensure the evaluation, approval, and supervision of medical products available to treat patients in the European Union. But there are also some elements where the EMA could be stronger. So EMA should be in place to permanently monitor events which could lead to shortages of medicines during future crises. EMA would be tasked with monitor and to report on the risk of shortages of medicines. It's very, very important. And EMA would be able to activate a dedicated crisis management structure and the EMA would play a key role in the development and faster approval of medicines to treat or prevent a disease causing a public health crisis. And finally, EMA would get a fast track for scientific advice on clinical trials. And so all in all, I think the Commission proposed a strong set of new rules where we learn from the crisis. And I don't know if there's also the idea of the HERA incubator, which started in February this year. So the Commission is working at full speed to ensure that all Europeans have access to COVID-19 vaccines. The authorized vaccines are, as we know, effective against the virus, but at the same time, we must be prepared to tackle new variants of the virus and to rapidly develop and produce at large scale. So that's why the Commission launched the HERA incubator, and it will tackle the mentioned problems at different fronts. So rapid detection of variants, swift adoption of new vaccines, setting up a European clinical trial network, fast tracking regulatory approval of updated vaccines, which is very important, and finally enable the upscaling of production of existing adapted or novel vaccines. And this emergency program will tackle the short to medium term threat and simultaneously prepare for the future. It will serve as an vanguard for the European Health Emergency Preparedness and Response Authority, so not HERA, not the incubator, that will be introduced by the end of the year. So we will, I'm expecting HERA at Q4 of this year. And finally, maybe I will stop then here.
Oh, go on, please.
Okay. And finally, the European Union today, at the 6th of May, published its strategy on COVID-19 therapies. So after securing vaccines, helping with the scale up of the production and making sure that the European Union also has enough vaccine doses for the years 2020 and 2023, we are now in a position where we can look at therapies, finally. So vaccines will not eliminate the disease overnight and forever. So therapeutics will still be needed for patients in hospitals and at home.
Absolutely.
So, sorry?
I was just saying, absolutely, that's what is going to be needed.
Yeah, okay. And so, therapeutics will, and we shouldn't underestimate that, play a significant role in our response to COVID-19. So this is very important. And to complement the EU strategy for vaccines, a reinforced and strategic approach to developing, manufacturing, and procuring safe and effective therapeutics at EU level is absolutely necessary and will limit the need for hospitalization, hopefully, speed up recovery times, and in the end, save lives. So I think that this approach, as I said, only published today, is also a very welcome addition.
Absolutely. And as you were just saying, you mentioned vaccines and the vaccination strategy. At this moment in time, do you think that the EU is on the right track in regards to the vaccination strategy, knowing obviously that each member state is moving in a different pace?
Yeah. So it's indeed a tricky question to answer. So we saw a very slow start. However, in terms of securing a broad portfolio of different kinds of vaccines, the European Union did actually well. So we managed to sign contracts worth of 2.6 billion vaccine doses, and this is by far more than we need. But problems occurred as some companies were not able to produce at scale as they promised in order to supply what we agreed on. via the advanced purchase agreements. So also companies had troubles with the purchasing of some ingredients, and they still have problems. So this still is some kind of a bottleneck. The Commission reacted to shortfalls quite late, to be honest, but the Commission set up a task force under Commissioner Breton in cooperation with Commissioner Kyriakides. And the new task force is indeed, or did indeed help. And the task force ramped up the production, or helped to ramp up the production capacities. And, I always criticized the Commission in the beginning of this year, at the end of last year. But I think the task force really changed things, and finally the Commission realized that they need to enter and need to intervene in order to secure production in the European Union. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask you one last question. It is about the digital green certificate. Could you tell us what it is about, why is it essential, and especially for European workers in order to ensure safe and free movement?
Well, the purpose of the Digital Green Certificate is to give the citizens the possibility to use one single document, so either digital or on paper, that can't be falsified and is accepted in the whole European Union, and of course in Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland, in order to travel. So, and the Digital Green Certificate has 3 certificates integrated. So either that you are vaccinated, that you are tested, or that you recovered from COVID-19. So it's necessary, but I think the Parliament made very clear, and for me this is important, the Digital Green Certificate can't be a precondition for free movement, for using your European citizen rights, and I can't stress this enough. So the DGC is an important tool, and it's good that we will implement it in all of Europe, and we will use the same standards, but it's never a precondition for the free movement. And we made it in the Parliament quite clear.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Walker. We've come to an end, but we hope that maybe we can get updated on another SESI Talks further ahead.
Yes,
thank you so much for your time, and goodbye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.